This is Lauren Ribello, aka the creator of the Distant Past college short film. This video will be in response to the question about what would I change about this short film if I could redo it again. I think the number one thing that I would change would be to do with the script and the story, because I think there's too much on Linda's side and not enough on Connor's side. I think the stuff with his work and his case, I think, was a bit more interesting than his love story with Linda. I think if I'd had to go back and rewrite the script, I would cut out a lot of Linda's scenes and I would replace them with more stuff on Connors himself and his case, because that's the ending that most people just went for anyway, so it would have been the ending that most people would have seen, and therefore it kind of should have been the most interesting one. And in terms of the dialogue itself, I do like how Connors and Linda, how they talk and interact with each other, because you can kind of tell what relationship they have with each other without them specifically mentioning it. However, there's a few inconsistencies. For example, when Linda comes to the door and she says, I didn't mean for you to find out this way, when it was quite intentional, like, for her to tell him in the cafe, so that line doesn't really make sense. That probably just could have been me forgetting my line. I don't think I did that great a job playing Linda. I didn't really want to, but I had a shortage on people I knew and people who would be willing to act in it. I think I did an okay job, but there are a couple of things. For example, my eye contact with the camera was really distracting, and I kind of wish I'd re-recorded some of that, because Sophie, the person who played Connors, did a good job playing them. They were very consistent, and I didn't have to re-record any of it, but I had to re-record a lot of my things, because I'd messed up a few times. But there are also another thing I would change would be to do with the editing. There are a few inconsistencies. For example, you could see Connors open a door, but then he kind of opens it again in a different shot. There are a few things like that I kind of wish I would have changed. I realised them a bit too late. And I would also change a few of the sound aspects. I like the music chosen, but sometimes you can hear background noise when there's not supposed to be background noise, and sometimes you can tell when it's been redubbed because you can hear like the echo in the room and it's a bit distracting. The volume is also quite inconsistent. I've had a few people tell me that, and I agree with them. Sometimes the music's too loud to hear the dialogue, and sometimes some scenes are quieter than others, so people have to keep adjusting their volumes, and it's quite distracting, so I wish I had changed that. In terms of the tone and what I was going for with the whole neo-noir thing, I think I lent more towards one than the other. No, sorry. I think I didn't do a very good balance of the two. I think I accidentally created a neo-noir and classic noir combo when I really wanted to create a neo-noir. I think the aspects that make it classic would be to do with the music and the title card and the overall dialogue and the setting. I kind of wish I hadn't have done that. I wish I had just gone towards one or the other. After watching it now, I kind of think it would have been better to have done a classic noir, because I seem to pull off those elements a bit better than I did with the neo-noir things. But there are a few other things I liked about it. For example, the Easter eggs I included in a poster at the beginning. I included this M&M's advert that made a few people laugh. But also there is this other a few other visual things. For example, Connor's fiddling with his wedding ring because he's kind of deciding whether to get back with Linda. And Connor's throwing down that bloody bandage, showing that he's been injured. I'm a very big fan of visual storytelling. I like it when the audience can tell what's happening without it being explained explicitly. But this, there was an unintentional one. For example, in one of the suicide endings, there's like this shadow of a skull on the window when he's reaching for the pills. That wasn't intentional. When I had looked back at the footage, I was really worried. I thought, oh no, that wasn't supposed to be there. I probably should refilm that. But then I decided to keep it in because it kind of did have thematic purpose within the scene, because the skull could represent death. It's a bit on the nose, but at least it had a reason for being there, and I kind of liked it. And the people who saw it, like, kind of had this reaction. They were like, "Oh," and that made me think, "Oh, okay, so it does still work." So it was actually kind of a good little slip up in a way, because it did end up working to my favour. Um, I I think I overall like this short film. I kind of have been not liking it as much upon rewatching it over and over again, because I keep seeing things that I don't like about it, like new things. But overall, I do think I did do what I set out to do to begin with. I just wish I had changed the script. I wish I had changed the structure, and I wish I had kind of put more options in. But uh, like at the same time, I didn't have much time to work with. I didn't want to make it too big. I didn't want to make it too long. But there are ways of kind of working with my time that would have worked better. So that's what I would change about it, and that's what I like about it.